Pecha Kucha 50, the first pages of my Noir comic. So, for the last few years, I've kind of thought I should work predominantly in black and white so I don't worry about things like color theory, because being a colorist is a real job too. But doing this black and white comic has turned out to be a lot harder than I thought it would be. So it originally started with some like rough notes, it's like a noir thing. A grizzled cop finds a murdered woman at the bottom of, a block of flats, and who killed her and why is not known to the creators of the comic. We figure it out as we go along. So like my first page, Donahue's like looking over the fire escape at the body. He recognizes her, and he's visibly upset. Donahue, representing him is not as easy as I thought it would be. And second page, he has a flashback about the happy times he had with Rose, the victim. This page really kind of emphasized why I should have been in control of my layers a lot more, because even though I'm only using black and white, there are so many complicated elements. Rose and Donahue relationship falls apart. Donahue turns to the job, and he becomes this grim and grizzled guy that he effectively is at the start of this story, where he has to find out who killed Rose. The introduction of his partner, Kit Carson, which might be a little bit too, I have ideas about this guy that might not really be very strongly shown here, which could kind of cause a problem now that I've passed this on to James and Adam, and it's their job to kind of carry the plot onwards. So I kind of gave them some notes along with those 4 pages. Anything I thought was of relevance that wasn't maybe explicitly stated, like, Donahue's partner is of German descent, and this is taking place just after World War II, so that could or could not have relevance, but I like that it's up for grabs. So one of the biggest problems I had doing this comic was like the way I was using my brushes in Photoshop. I think mostly like on the left I was using a thicker brush, and it's like on the right I kind of got sick of doing sloppy stuff, so I used a thinner brush to try and get detail, and it's one of the many problems I've had going forward. Like if you look at the picture of Donahue on the left hand side in the middle, I've used a lot of line marks to kind of not even. I mean, it feels like if I'd kept going the way I was going with the first page, not the third, which is on the right, I'd have ended up with something that looked more like a lino cut than a black and white, clean, crisp Sin City thing. And these 2 panels are about me trying to draw the porch, the foreground, and the background characters, and really they should have all been on separate layers. At least I came to my senses with the picket fence and the rain. I made this a lot harder for myself than it needed to be. This is about direct reference. The hands on the left, his and hers, those are, I had specific photographs of that. And then the hand on the right is just me drawing a hand as I think it looks. The shading's pretty bad, but it's a pretty small hand as well. Actually, no, the hand is the panel by itself, so no excuses. This feels like a more happy medium in terms of referencing, where you can clearly see that this is what I used because I'm showing you. But the hand I had to do myself, and it's not quite the same. Her hair's different, things like that. And again, this is like using specific reference against this little frame of like a Donahue and Rose at a carnival, which was completely from my head, from memory. And I feel like I got the point across without actually needing specific reference. And they're kind of simplified faces. This is how I wanted that to come across, and that's a win. Perspective is a big part of Donahue at the top of this fire escape, looking down at the murder scene. I don't know that I did such a good job with this. Like the hat on the left, is that the angle it would be at? I don't know. I need to look into that. I mean, one of the things I think I'm best at drawing is faces, but actually drawing the main character, I really should have had a face in mind. I mean, I did. He's supposed to be like Max Payne from Max Payne 2. But he kind of, he goes all over the place. And this is an example of, because it took me so long, like maybe even 3 months to do these 4 pages. Like the brickwork, it would have taken me 5 minutes to just make it all, you know, perpendicular lines. As you can see, not all of the lines are perpendicular, and that's just because I was so desperate to actually get finished so I could send this stuff out that I kind of overlooked some very simple basic stuff. Yeah, this picture of Akuma I did last week, just pencils in a sketchbook, A5. I just messed with the levels, and that's how I got the texture. I didn't even, that's just how it came out. I didn't even change the color or anything. I feel like that's the way forward for me. I should do more stuff like that. So, gaming, Shadow of War, Destiny 2, they both have microtransactions. The games aren't even out yet. Gwent is free to play, but I don't want to play it because I can't trust a game that says it's free to play. And Dynasty Warriors 9 is coming out, and if that game has microtransactions, if Koei put microtransactions in their games, then I know I'm going to have to quit gaming. Todd Howard, one of the big dog at Bethesda, he's done some shady shit, or Bethesda's done some shady shit this year. And if that continues, I don't see much point in me playing games, because I use games like Skyrim as an excuse. You know, not everything is going to be as good as Skyrim, but when you get a game like Skyrim, it's worth playing games to play games that good. Right, so Todd Howard has said, you know, when he was talking to people about, it's like at a business conference, and he said if install base really mattered, we'd all make board games because there were a lot of tables. And his quote's really about pandering to the lowest common denominator. The irony is that in the last couple of years, you know, Bethesda have put out like Elder Scrolls Online, which takes one of the best gaming franchises there is and kind of panders to a broader customer base. They put out mobile phone games, and then the content creation kit they're doing, which is effectively they're charging people for mods that they haven't made and lying through their teeth all day long about it. So yeah, I don't know what this guy's about. He's supposed to be the real deal, but the business practices I've seen recently, you know, again from Warner Brothers and EA, you expect these kind of things. But if everyone's going to do it, I'm going to have to just walk away, and that would be sad because video games are such an excellent specific art reference. They're great for all kinds of things, and one thing you'll never hear me complain about when I'm talking about gaming is the quality of the concept art. The concept artists in gaming are just amazing, and they create amazing worlds, and those are great research opportunities, and they're fantastic entertainment. So yeah, let's hope Koei doesn't start putting microtransactions in their games. You know, Skyrim, the next Elder Scrolls game isn't pay to win, and you know, Trump doesn't blow up Korea and Korea doesn't blow up the rest of us. We can all go back to watching Game of Thrones. That brings us to the end of Pecha Kucha 50. I will see you next time.